Good morning, everyone. I would like you to have a look at my picture behind me over here, okay? And it's going to ask you a question. It's going to ask you what season you think it is. Now, remember when you came to school at the beginning of the year, we said to you the season was summer. So let's just have a look over here and see what it's telling you. Right, so it says there's summer. Then, when you were in lockdown, we made autumn crowns, remember? So there was autumn. Have we had winter yet? No, that's what we're experiencing now. So I think it must be winter because we've had summer, we've had autumn, and now we're going to experience some winter. Okay, so what can you tell me about winter? Winter means we're going to get a little bit chilly and a little bit cold. Okay, so the next question it says to you is, who is dressed for today's weather? Now, that's what we always do. Here's this mommy, and she has opened the curtains, and they are looking outside to see what the weather is like before she lets her little boy get dressed. So she's checked on the weather first. You can see the curtains are open, and she has decided it must be very cold because she's making him wear like a beanie and a cap. He's going to have a scarf. He's going to have some mittens on. He's got his lovely boots on, a jacket, a jersey. Right. So his mommy must have decided it's very, very cold. I want you to have a look over here as well, because we're going to come back and talk about this just now. Okay, so in winter, when it does start getting cool, we obviously have to start to dress warmly, otherwise we're going to get sick. And we're going to shiver, and we're going to be cold, and we're going to be uncomfortable. And that's really not nice. Here's a little boy, okay, and he's definitely dressed for winter. If you look at his mouth, often you say to me when you go outside in winter and this happens, you say, "Oh, teacher, I'm blowing smoke." But it's not smoke that's blowing. It's the warm air he's breathing out and the cold air all around him. And so it almost looks like steam. And then you'll say to me, "Oh, we're blowing smoke." But it's not. It's the warm air coming out of his warm body, meeting with the cold air outside. And that's why it gives you this effect of steam. Okay. Right, his head is well covered. His neck is well covered, and he's got a coat on. Right, so let's have a look at the things that we would wear to make sure that we are warm. Okay, so the first thing we said about this little boy was his neck was covered. Right, so what do we wear around our neck? And because I was going to talk to you about winter today, I pulled my zip right up here to the top because I want to keep my neck nice and warm. Okay, so what do we wear around our neck? We usually wear a scarf. Often it's knitted out of wool because wool is warm and it keeps us nice and warm. And we don't want to get cold between our head and our shoulders, so we wear a scarf around our neck. Okay, if you're very clever, you can read this word and it's going to tell you it's a scarf. Okay, when you came to school in summer, did you wear socks? No. Were your feet cold? No. But now our feet start getting cold. And so now what do we start wearing? Socks. Okay. So over here, this little boy is very lucky. He's got a lovely pair of socks. And that's going to keep his feet warm. And these things here are his boots. And sometimes we're very lucky, and our boots inside have got some furry kind of material and soft. It also helps to keep our feet warm. But our socks, which are often made of wool, and sometimes they're made of nylon, all those things help to keep us nice and warm, and we don't want to have cold feet. And so if we've got socks on And the boots are a good idea because why? I'm going to show you back to go take you back. Boots are closed shoes. They're not open like sandals, otherwise our toes would get cold. Okay, so you can read socks there and boots there. Right, I'm going to take you to the next pictures. And if we start over here, this is an unusual sort of hat, okay? And it's a winter hat that is often called a helmet. And that's a bit unusual. I see our socks are falling off, so let's just stick them back nicely. Right, and now, there's his helmet again, just in case you didn't see that nicely. And here, these things you need to be very careful. Because what are they called? They are not called gloves. They are called mittens. They are called mittens. Gloves have fingers in them. Mittens only have a thumb. And then there's no space for each finger. So these are mittens. Okay, so it's a helmet on his head and mittens on his hands. Okay, let's look at the picture at the bottom here. And what's that? It's a jacket. And that's going to keep his body nice and warm. Okay, so that's what we do. We keep every part of our body warm. So we would wear a beanie, like the first little boy had, or we would wear a helmet on our head to keep our head nice and warm, because we can lose heat through our head here. So that's why we would wear a helmet or a beanie. Right here around our neck, we would wear a scarf to keep nice and warm, right? Our hands and our fingers, we would wear gloves or we would wear mittens. We would wear a jersey or a jacket. And of course, we'd have to have nice tracksuit pants on to keep us warm. But we didn't forget about our socks, and we didn't forget about our boots to keep our feet nice and warm. Right, so those are the clothes that we wear. Right, so let's see who is dressed for today's weather. Have you got socks on? Have you got closed shoes on? Have you got nice warm pants on? If you are outside, you may wear a beanie or a helmet and a scarf. Right, usually inside we don't worry too much about that. But when the wind is cold, that's when we worry about